Yeah, I mean, I reached out to everybody else's votes. The only one I'm missing is Chris Allen, but I gotta guess where this is gonna fall.
I think he said Shaq already. Then I'll go Magic then. I'll go Magic.
Okay. Well, I think that puts us at like a fucking 2-way tie for everything. So we'll just give it to well, no, I don't. Let me look at what Bing said actually, because I think mine's Shaq. Yeah, I went Shaq. So I think Shaq got it the 3.
Okay, that works. He was totally there.
Yeah. Something to talk about in the pregame. Are you nervous, bro? Do you really have a bottle of champagne you're gonna drink? You're gonna drink Andres if you win?
Hell yeah, baby. Corbel. I'm living that life.
Love it. Love it. See all my look at this, just the swamplands, bro. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's God's country. Lots of bridges.
Lots of boat captains.
Lots of train horns. Actually, they're not doing the train horns much anymore. I think they just have to do it every time you come to an intersection. So I just think in the very beginning there were lots of intersections.
Yeah, why is it not doing this? What's going on? It's not streaming. We're having some stream issues here.
Okay. Is my connect really bad?
I don't know if it's. I think it just should be for me because I'm doing the streaming.
Yeah, I know. It shouldn't make you feel better. It's from you.
No, I appreciate it. You'd be like, it's your garbage internet. Your garbage.
Oh, look at this. Look what I found. I found a little nook for my fucking 5th of Kettle One Orange right there, bro. Look at that. Just like it's just wedged in between the sea. It's like perfect. It's like my little like fucking wet bar.
Your little cooler. What's that little box behind your head right there with some dials and levers, quarters? Is that?
Oh, that's fucking 1960 train riding, bro. We don't update shit.
That's right. Why? The wheels is all that we care about.
Yeah, well, one of those is the music control, which doesn't work. I don't know what that was. I guess they used to play jams before iPods existed. Maybe there's a live band. Did I show you the shower? The shower is wild. I'm definitely going to do it tomorrow because I'm just fascinated by it. But so I have my bathroom.
Oh, we are live.
And then the fucking, so this is the, oh, good. Okay.
We are live.
Good.
Yeah. No,
I don't think we said anything lewd.
This is hot content here. Usually it says like we're live on it, but
this is good. This is good. Okay. So like, this is, I mean, it looks like an airplane bathroom. Here's one really. So it looks like just an airplane bathroom, but you shut yourself in here, and I guess put this fucking toilet seat down. And this room is the shower, bro. Like you just shut this door, and then you just shower on top of where this toilet is. Like this is all just like you pick the temperature of the water, you turn it on, you cover up the toilet paper with this little thing right here. There's a drain down there, and then you just like fucking, you just get your shower on this little like capsule. This is wild.
First off, how quickly when you run that shower does the toilet paper get soaked, and now it just becomes one giant bidet?
Immediately soaked. I don't even like. I'm 1,000% gonna do it. And, you know, like I'm an old germaphobe. I'm gonna do it because I'm fascinated by the mechanics, and I can't let this opportunity like get by me where I didn't actually shower in this thing.
This is
like someone had the balls to be like, what if we just keep the toilet in the shower room and they just shut the toilet seat and the thing drains? Like it means the toilet's gonna be like that whole room's gonna be fucking wet every time I use the bathroom for like it's insane.
Like Carl, shut the fuck up. All right, that's crazy talk.
Yeah.
Then the president of Amtrak was like, hold on, wait a second.
We got like some engineer, and they were coming down to 0 hour. They showed up and they were just like, so this is our idea. And they're just like, yeah, that's fine. It's an idea. Whatever, it'll work. That's fine. It's a train. Everyone's fine. The fact that you shower on it is amazing enough.
Right, exactly. So those of you who are tuning in to the live stream here on YouTube.
Yeah.
This is some hot train talk from Boxcar Brandana.
Boxcar Brandana. Traveling cross country, bro. Just trying to get all the hottest sports take. I guarantee I will stop in a town that has live sports going on. So we'll see. So far, Not so good.
Not so
The
good,
trip,
eh?
the trip continues.
The trip continues, but you know what? You're making your way from New Orleans to Los Angeles, riding the rails.
Riding the rails, yeah, that's right.
What,
I mean,
what,
every time you express it, it makes it sound like a little hobo-ish. But yes, I'm
going
riding
for
the
that
rails.
vibe. Where's your box? Where's your bindle and your knapsack?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what are the people on the street talking about MAB League? What's the skinning? I know it's all a buzz. It's the only sports going on, Brandana.
There is. I think there was a lot of there's a lot of hats off going on from the people are running into, like, fans that didn't know, like, running kind of New Orleans. They were just like, hey, like, way to just kind of take this text thread that was just like, hey, like, what if we put together, like, like 8 of the greatest teams built from 100 of the greatest players of all time? Like, what would that look like? And they were just like, MAB League, like MAB Sports Podcast. You guys actually followed through on that, and it's been exciting AF. And I think the biggest thing is people are just like, I wish there were a few more games. I think that was it. I think they were just like, I wish the series were a little longer, because now, like, I'm super invested, and now it just it's heartbreak coming to the end. But they also know, like, they're poking at us. They're just like, I heard about the revolt led by, like, owner Booth by the Lakers. Like, they're gonna try to start a new thing, like, just kind of like this Earth is flat, like, just kind of like series league, do a thing. And we just had to put the foot down. It's just like, as exciting as this was, like, we want to take the temperature. We did it right. We don't want to overexpose and do it incorrectly and then have an inferior product. We have a product that everyone's very excited about. So we're looking forward to rolling this out sometime next year. And you and I, we're not going to announce it yet, but we're working on something for around that Thanksgiving holiday. We got some down days.
We got something cooking, B.
We'll put it like this. We preheated the oven, right? We preheated the oven, and we're working on the recipe. We know what the dish is, but it's just like, what's that recipe going to look like?
We know what the cook time is, and we know what the mix time for the whole thing is. We're chefs, baby. We're chefs.
Yep.
Beautiful. So what we're gonna do then is we're into game 3. We're gonna talk a little bit about what we liked in game 2 from your boys' team, the Pistons.
Okay, so tell me, well, let's have you start it off. What did you change in your lineup wise? What were the big changes in minutes based on game 1 into game 2?
So the biggest changes for me were I just upped the starter minutes. I played very conservatively. I had kind of gone into the league with an idea that basically I'm going to run 2 teams of 5 out there. Obviously, I want my starters to have slightly more minutes than my bench guys, but everyone's a Hall of Famer. There's lots of championship, DNA coursing through the second team as well too. So I thought, fatigue would be a much bigger factor, because you're not only having to defend a Hall of Famer on one end, but they're defending you on the other end. So I thought it was going to really wear down the opponents. But on this game, it was a must-win game. So I was like, I can't not have Magic on the bench for long stretches. And my second team was really the biggest Achilles heel in that game 1. That's where the 22-point lead dissipated there. So I upped the minutes. And then I went for fresh legs. I brought in Billy Cunningham, who was the darling of game 2. Even though he played like 8 minutes, he had 8 points and 2 rebounds, a couple dunks, or dunk attempts, but just fresh legs. So that was kind of
yeah, and sure. What's wild about this game is, and maybe your minute thing, it is kind of contradictory, because I don't think anybody thought Magic Johnson had a real breakout. MVP candidate Magic Johnson had a breakout game, game 1 in the finals, but he even got the snowflake this game, and he just shook it off. Like, literally, like, shook it off, like snowflakes fall on his shoulder, like, just, and you walk inside, you're just like, I'm in this restaurant, get off, just like dusted it off. It's really hard of a champion stuff you got to see go down there.
Exactly. He did the literal boot stomp as you walk into the building, just get it off my shoes and finish the game. Probably best performance of all of MAB League when it mattered the most. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, a block, 9 of 11 shooting. I know the conductor, he's tooting the horn. He likes it, what he's seeing.
Trust me, that horn's going on all the fucking time, but it's because they're just all the fucking time excited about those Pistons. So you guys didn't, so this was, it wasn't exact inverse from game 1. It still looked like the script was kind of the same. Pistons get out to a quick lead, establishing a little bit. It was back and forth, but just establishing a little bit of a gap, and was able to hold on to that and extend it a little bit. What was different this game that let the Pistons hold on to the lead as opposed to blowing it? Because it did get close there for a while too. Like in the third quarter, we got back in one of those situations where it's just like, oh man, is this just like rinse, wash, repeat business we got going on?
Yeah, I mean, we were up big, and then they cut into it. We still ended up winning by 7. The biggest thing is we didn't have the collapse in the second quarter,
Yeah.
and then we came out on fire in the third quarter. It was really the fourth quarter we got a little away from us, so that was something that I'm going to monitor here for Game 3. Make it a little.
And I don't want to sing out any players, but they are like kind of fake players, so they'll be fine. Scottie Pippen, even though I think he put up like 8 or 10, just his plan of attack was a little jankety. Like it was a little ISO ball, like shot selection not great. Someone went down, but he just kind of looked like, I don't know. He kind of had the thing like if it was a 30 for 30, like did he hang out with Jordan the night before within Atlantic City because something just looked off.
Yeah, I mean he did have the dunk on Kawhi, which is huge, but then he had some real he's got clear lanes to the basket again, pull up long too. You know what I mean? It's like he took a quick 3 early on in one possession. It's definitely not the style of play that he's used to or that we'd expect from him. But yeah, so it's just one of those things where he was a little off, but he did play solid defense, as he always does. But yeah, I definitely look to kind of tweak that rotation a little bit as well too. Dominique, conversely, offensively played great, had 14 points. I think was our second scorer in that game. So that was one of those things where it's like, okay, we lose a little on the defensive end. I know. That's how
do you heal? Do you hear how often it's going on?
I do, man.
That's it. That was like my first 2 hours. I'm just like, I made a huge fucking mistake. Like I'd rather plow through some unbeknownst cars in railroad intersections than hear this horn going off every 15 seconds.
And then it's like dust off the cow catcher.
It's
because
nuts.
I just wanted to start plowing through some shit.
It's crazy. All right, let's announce our. Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, no, you're good. Go.
Okay, so I want to remind everybody. First team, all MAB league. I'm sure we'll post second team. Maybe we'll dig a little deeper, but just so you guys can hear it, we announced it yesterday. In the one spot, we got Magic Johnson, Steph Curry at the 2, Larry Bird at the 3, Akeem Olajuwon at the 4, Shaquille O'Neal at the 5. MVP race, our top 3. Would everybody vote? We tallied the emails we got, and then all the participants. Akeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, your top 3. Shall we announce it, brother?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's announce it.
All right, your MVP for MAB League 2020 all-time NBA inaugural season. The MVP of the league goes to the Timberwolves, Shaquille O'Neal.
Ooh.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And earned. Well earned. Good draft. Yeah. Good drafting battle. I think there were times you kind of disappeared, but really there weren't a lot of people when you just see that on switch get flipped on that can contain them. Like just way too dangerous in the paint.
Yeah, and if you look at all of MAB League, the advanced metrics, player efficiency rating, the per had the highest at 32.7, efficiency rating 35.3, and then game score, the highest of everybody, basically 25, which a 20 is outstanding. 30 is like unheard of. So he was just unbelievably dominant, Shaq. I think it really structured the way we looked at this. I mean, obviously we drafted, and I think there was probably equal number like backcourt, frontcourt players in that first round, but I don't think we really truly understood. And I think the key to the success of the Celtics is the big man, having 2 big men that can control the boards and dominate. That became such a much bigger factor than I think any of us really realized.
I know. Well, no, that was my strategy. But I didn't follow through. You're right. I talked about it. You know what? I talked about it. I just didn't execute well. Like I was Napoleon. I had the landscape. I was like, this is what we want to do. And then I just fucked it all up. I was just like, this is what we need to do. And then I had like at the 5 spot, I had Shaq and Wilt on the board, and I was like, give me Wilt. And it's just like that was just I think and I took them over like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also. Like I took Wilt. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got too excited about like a piece of paper with 100 written on it. I'm a dummy.
Well, but Will played out of your team was like probably one of the better players, but like very fit. Like he was a plus version of what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was or is for the Celtics. Like double double, 13 points, 11 rebounds, and I think was a good interior defender. I think you needed somebody kind of balance out with him, right? If you'd
Well,
got
yeah, I think I think I tried to go. I overthought it and went all in on rebounds, and just because Rodman was good at rebounds on the like on the Bulls for an era doesn't mean he was like better than rebounding than like some of these other guys like I just like left on the side. It's just like get him a Tumbo or just get a fucking
yeah.
tall body, throw him underneath the basket and just like use the length. Like don't you have to overthink this.
Yeah, it definitely seems like had you gone like Matumbo with like Wilt playing out of position but playing at like the 4 spot would have been a real interesting. I think that's been the biggest key is just moving Akeem, even though Trent will talk about how he moved Akeem to the 5 spot to defend Shaq, which was a gamble that paid off. Playing him out of position, if you will, and having a much taller rim protector and just rebounder and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was like a second option. Because if we watch in all the second halves, Kareem like comes to life in the second half. Has done it in both games, but more in the defensive end and just getting like second chance points. I was looking at stats just over the last 2 games. Where did my thing go? Oh, here it is. They have 24 second chance points to my Pistons eight second chance points in 2 games. They have 24 offensive rebounds, which basically means they're converting about half of those rebounds into points. And then me, I have 15 offensive rebounds, which means once I'm getting that, I'm only like, if we're just going to parse out like 4 of 15. So I'm just not converting on those second chance opportunities. Um, it's huge for him. And Kareem has been the guy that has really kept a lot of those possessions alive. And the same thing with Zoe coming off the bench, for just those 12 to 14 minutes coming off the bench and just banging guys around and just getting offensive rebounds for easy tips, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It was we learned a lot. And I think again we harken back to it, but really what makes the league work, and I think everybody excited to do it again, is it's not like a 1-to-1 ratio. It still does like the sum is greater than all the part. Like if you move like one little piece, it's not necessarily just like, oh, I need a tall guy to do rebounds, but it's just like, okay, well, how does it affect like, like your interior passing or like what is it going to kind of throw this? So the simulation is complicated enough to keep it like really interesting on just kind of like making these substitutions.
yeah, and I think we've had plenty to bite on from like a player for like a general manager standpoint. It's like just figuring out the minutes and the rotations. I think that's why guys are clamoring for more games. Is like just figure that out and just to see how
Yeah.
guys will rotate is the thing that I think is the most interesting. I'm very interested to see like how. I don't know. I've never asked Trent, but I was wondering like how he was trying to figure out his rotations because he has no true power forward and he has no true shooting guard. Although Penny is like a point guard slash shooting guard, they traditionally will look him at as a point guard. But I often wonder how he looks at those off positions to kind of calculate what that rotation is going to be. Like, usually what he should look at is you take the center, like 36 minutes for the center position and 36 minutes for the power forward position, add that up, that's 72. And then you look at basically what's the number of those guys that like Zoe, Akeem, and that, and Kareem, and what are those numbers add up to? And then the difference is, if it's 4 or 5 minutes, that means someone from outside of those big men are going to have to fall in. And I wonder if guys are looking at it in that perspective. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to,
So yeah, it's just one of those things. So there's 72 minutes between the power forward and the center spot. So he's got, if he's got 28 minutes per for both of those guys, that's 56 minutes. And, you know, 20-ish minutes or 16 minutes for Zoe, he's a little short, right? There's a couple minutes. And speaking of, let's bring Trent on here right now.
Oh, he's got him on? All right.
Yeah.
I got to mute myself out. 1 second.
Okay, there you go. Yes, sir. The Shirtless Wonder. We're streaming on YouTube. Hopefully you're cool with your nipples being exposed to the world.
Not up to me. Is it cool, baby?
Yeah.
She wants the people to know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. So we were just talking about your Boston Celtics, the rotation, the minutes. I don't know if you caught on the pregame earlier, if you're watching at home. We announced Shaquille O'Neal as the MVP, voted by the people, by the public. I know that feels a little
the same
stingy.
people that voted for Trump.
Okay, right. So, but how are you looking at your rotations tonight, Trent? How are you thinking about your rotations?
Yeah, I actually was watching live as your most faithful MAB listener.
You are.
The T in MAB is silent, as I like to say.
Very good.
I'm a part of it. Yeah. So what I typically did, because when I got Hakeem, he was just too valuable at the position not to take him there. And he's, I know, like a true center, but they both, Kareem and Hakeem, can play center, power forward. And then I picked up Zoe deep, and I literally just add both of those two positions up, and then I give Hakeem and KAJ, each of them get 28 minutes apiece,
right.
And then I give Alonzo 8 minutes for center and 8 minutes for power forward. And the idea when it works well is, for the most part, they'll just rotate through on that cycle where Alonzo gets one out. Then when one comes back in, Alonzo moves to the whatever weaker position. This coming game is a really I got spooked, bro. I'm a little scared after last game. And I didn't like what I saw in my rotations. Having to bring Penny Hardaway as my point seemed to be more effective than Steve the Snowflake Nash, as you have.
Snowflake, yeah. 13 points, 10 assists, 1 turnover. And then the signature from Boxcar Brandana. I don't know if he's riding the rails right now as we speak.
I heard that.
That's what it is. That fucking whistle. Like, the only thing is, like, if you really think about riding a train, this is just real talk right now. Like, really just put on like one of those nature machines and set it to train whistles. And if you can't handle it, like, you ain't gonna fit in. Like, I thought it was a legit joke. He's gonna drive me fucking nuts. I might get off and just get a fucking plane back.
What did they
say? I love the romanticness of it and everything, but it's just like there's straight like 2.5 hours where like every like 3 minutes it's like I was like trying to take a nap, and I was just like, I wanted to call the guy, and I was texting Most Awesome about it. I was just like, come up here. I was just like, hey, is there like is this train whistle gonna happen all the time? He's just like, is a train whistle gonna happen on fucking trains? Yeah, bro, it is. Like, that's kind of what it is.
How scary would it have been? What if he was like, what whistle? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, exactly. I wish. I was just like, am I inside, like, kind of inside the organ in like just the cathedral? It's just like where the train whistle happens. Well, let's get back to the game. Start this track. So you said you got a little spooked last game. T-Balls, you made the adjustments that you feel good. You got home court advantage going back. Your team has been known in both games. One, take out the victory, but not lay down. Is there anything about kind of getting out to a little bit of a faster start, or at least slowing the Pistons down a little bit from getting to their fast start?
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely had a problem with losing the first quarter. I was actually emboldened by this last fourth quarter when to only be down by 5 instead of 39 or whatever the hell it was. I was like, oh, all right, we're on it.
Jackpot.
But the Pistons hung strong, to be honest with you. Their shot percentage through the first, I mean, they were 70-something in the first quarter, high 60s, I believe, in the second. And then I think it was 83% in the third. And I just couldn't come back from that, no matter how cold they got in the fourth.
And we just didn't have a lot of shots though. We had a lot of quality shots in that third quarter. We just didn't have as many. And you close that gap pretty good there.
Well, also, can I call you out most awesome too? Is there any conversation you're having with your guys about the free throw percentage? That's a little bit of a problem on your end.
Well, first off, it just starts with the foul disparity, right? I mean, we're going a little what is it, 2008 or 9 Mavs Heat, where Dwayne Wade went to the line like 75 times. Look at this: 28 free throws for the Celtics, only 20 for the Pistons. 30 fouls for the Pistons, 18 fouls for the Celtics.
Okay, but you do. Okay, so let me say this. And let me put it out there for all. I know, but for all you stat heads, this is why it makes sense to me, because the Celtics game is built on getting their fingers on the basketball a second time inside the paint. So that's going to create fouls regardless. And that's why it's just kind of, sorry guys, it's just kind of part of their game. So it's going to be there. So that's not why I'm super worried about the foul disparity. See, I'm just worried about if the Pistons are actually going to be able to step up to the line and not shoot 50%.
Well, we missed 5 free throws in game 2. We've only missed 6 in the series. So I want to chalk it up to an aberration. Billy missed 2 of them, but he supplied us with lively legs. I'm talking about Billy Cunningham, the Edward Norton of MAB League. I'm expecting him to get a little off the free throw tonight, but either way, the activity is it's plus activity. I like it. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm good with it. I want the Zebras to call a little bit more evenly in game 3. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so Trent, I think a big problem for you going to the second half is, again, we're bringing up the shooting percentage. Is there any game plan to get a little bit more aggressive in the perimeter defense, or is it still kind of let them shoot themselves out of just a shooting percentage that they just can't keep consistent the entire game?
Well, MA has the numbers already. So since the Penny experiment was effective to a certain degree, I upped his minutes just a smidge. And one of the things that I've been benefiting from, actually against the T-Wolves too, and then we've seen it, Paul talked about it earlier a little bit, was I tend to get a lot of fouls.
Just like way deep, like way up, like top of the key and everything, like just some reach-ins.
Affirmative. One of the other benefits I tend to get a lot of was reach-in fouls. Even though the negative of that is Magic Johnson is picking more pockets than he's getting caught stealing on.
Active hands.
So that there's the two edges to that sword. One's a little sharper when you're getting a steal, and the other one's just a whistle. But hopefully we got Magic within one foul of fouling out, and that could have so dramatically affected the game. I thought he had, how many did he have?
He had 4 in that game.
Oh shoot.
The flagrant was the big one on Penny. I think that was his last foul.
Right. Well, he clearly, we can all agree he should have been thrown out for an extra game. He should not be playing. That was a flagrant too.
Big day. All right, guys, we got one more minute. I want to give you guys 30 minutes to run in the locker room and get your team prepped. Give me one thing you're telling your team to come out, just a one word or one idea to come out for this game 3 to let them know how important it is, because you guys have the experience. You've been there before. And then also give me what the final score is in your eyes. We will go home court. You go first. That's you, Trent.
Just protect the ball. I had to put Nash in, and I had to put in Mullen. Mullen hasn't seen court time. I'm hoping he's matured from the time on the bench, and he's going to come in and play his role, be a sharp shooter, and aid my rotations. So that last game, Kawhi Leonard only got I think 17 minutes, and he should be getting upwards of 20 to 22. So that should help even out the rotations at the forward position. My prediction on the score, I'm going to go with 101-99 Celts.
Oh, okay.
And breaking 100 just to rub it in. I feel like that's rubbing in the face a little bit.
I feel like
what do you got most awesome?
I'm just going to go in there and say, gentlemen, it's been a fantastic virtual season. You're all champions in my eyes. But if you don't get the victory, I'm fucking cutting all of you.
Dead.
I'm gonna say, you know what? Basically, it's a basketball game of runs. When the Celtics, and we know they're gonna make a run. When they make a run, don't panic. We've been here before. We've smelled the victories and we've smelled defeat. And at the end of this game, 97-94, the Pistons. Victory.
Cigar. Guys, congratulations to both of you guys. Like, amazing seasons. You guys put together great squads, kept adapting, kept working on very active leadership on both sides. You guys both deserve here. And yeah, I know it's not good for either of you guys. I know you'd like to win in 2, but thank God for all the fans that came down to game 3. This is exactly what this league's about. We're very excited. Good luck to both of you guys. Looking forward to see you guys out there on the court.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Have a good game, guys.
Car.
Yep.
Like a
All right,
doctor.
later, guys.
Take it easy on you.
Bad luck to you, Paul.